Welcome back to The Real Edit.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Aimee.
And we're here with your weekly dose of content creation, building a business and trying to stay sane while doing it.
It's a safe space where we share a glimpse into our lives, part pep talk, part therapy, and just enough oversharing to keep it interesting.
Wherever this episode finds you, we're so glad you're here.
You're right on time, so let's catch up. Welcome back to The Real Edit. Thank you so much for joining us again. We are back after a slight, I was going to call it hiatus, but I don't think it is a hiatus. It's only been a couple of weeks. But it's been a very busy month. It's been Amy's 30th birthday month. There's been lots been going on, so yeah, the podcast has taken the backseat a little bit, but we're back, and it's going to be a good episode, as always.
As always, absolutely.
So you can do with the intro straight away, because how has your birthday month been?
Oh my gosh, it literally was a birthday month, and I normally get really anxious about my birthday because, I don't know, I just have this fear that like, no one cares and nothing's ever gonna happen. I don't know, that's really weird. I just get really anxious and funny about my birthday, like, I don't know. So I said to my best friends, I said to them months ago, like, can you just sort something for my 30th, because otherwise I'm just not gonna mark it. I'll just like bury my head in the sand and get a bit funny about it. So they organised the most beautiful birthday dinner with all of my friends, and my boyfriend took me away for a few days, which was really beautiful, to a big like tree house in Somerset, which was just amazing. My family took me to Bucharest for a little city break to go to the spa and to like explore the city. And then just like lots of little lovely things. Saw you in London, saw a friend for brunch, had lots of coffee dates for friends being like, let's do I've got a present for you and let's do brunch or whatever. Just like lots of like little lovely things. So I genuinely was completely sport rotten and just had the most beautiful few weeks celebrating. So yeah, I had a really gorgeous birthday and was very felt a bit overwhelmed, if I'm honest. Like it was just a lot of very wholesome, absolutely. And my Jellycat collection has it's quite big now. So I think I had
even more than that.
Well, I only had one Jellycat before I turned 30, and then everyone for my 30th decided to buy me a Jellycat, which is hilarious because it's so me coded. And so now I have a full-on little set of Jellycats, which is never a bad thing. No. So yeah, that's me, and just ticking along. Luna's here, my drippy tap, which has been dripping for literally like 6 months at this point.
Did you hear that?
I thought it was my tap. I was like, was that an impression?
No, sorry, that was me. I hit my drink.
I thought it was an impression of my drippy tap. But yeah, my drippy tap, which has been dripping for like 6 months, is finally fixed. Like everything's good.
The world is good again.
The world is good again. Because previously, before every podcast episode, I was trying to fashion some kind of like tower of tea towels and stuff to absorb the drip sound. So there was always like some weird triangular setup of like cloths and things in the background, and now it's just not dripping.
It's the end of an era, because that's literally been dripping since I came to yours in February.
I know. It's so bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, we tried to fix it, but anyway, whatever. It's done now. Yeah. I no longer have a dripping tap. My house feels very quiet. I've got used to the
it's like a clock.
Yeah, and then, but to be fair, by the end it was like pretty much constantly running. It was really bad. So, but I just haven't really been here. Yeah. So I was like, no, now that we're back and we're back to like regularly scheduled programming, we are sorting the damn tap, and we've done it. So what an exciting update from me. Wow. Yeah,
I know you've had a good time as well, because I literally haven't heard from you for like 3 weeks.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It means you're invested in the moment.
Yeah, I've definitely been I've been trying to be very present in every moment. So yeah, but still, just really bad on my phone.
Yeah.
So what about you? What have you been up to whilst I've been sorting dripping taps and celebrating? What have you been up to? Can I just say at this point, if anyone's watching us on YouTube, I'd like to really apologise for my crinkled shirt and crappy ponytail. I just want you to know I acknowledge it. You know, I'm not looking like Fred West. I'm not looking. Thanks, Aim. Appreciate you. But let's be very honest. This really could do with the press. But anyway,
I'll be honest. This I have ironed this, and I feel like as soon as you iron it, it goes crinkled anyway.
This is why I haven't done it this time.
Why bother?
Why? That's exactly what I thought. I was like, who actually cares? Not me. Exactly.
Not me.
Anyway, Ames, give us your update. What have you been up to? Tell us everything.
I'm honestly, I can't even remember. Like, time is going so fast. It's crazy. Like, how are we nearly at the end of September? That just
I know. It's baffling.
blows my mind. Yeah, it's just gone so quickly. Like, I've been doing this now for 9 whole months. I could have grown a baby in that time. 9 whole
But
months.
you didn't, crucially.
I didn't. Just to clarify, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, no, what has even been going on? I think, yeah, we had the event in London with Cetaphil, which was really fun. And that was kind of like our day out for your birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then I honestly can't even tell you what I've done since then. Like, I've seen family. It was my boyfriend's birthday. Didn't do too much for that, but just like wholesome time. Just been plodding along with work, really, like with social media stuff. I've had a couple of like things come up and they're just like in the process, so it's like nothing too much to announce, but just been plodding along, really.
I'd like to formally announce my UGC partnership with the one
yeah,
video with.
just to announce. I don't actually think much else has happened, to be honest with you.
Just a nice, calm, tickety-boo month.
I'd say calm. I don't think it's been that calm, but just like I've just been here, there and everywhere, but for different reasons, nothing too exciting.
We thought that for today's episode we would talk a little bit about Q4 because, Aimee, this is your first Q4 as a full-time UGC creator. Obviously there's lots of new creators in the space this year, so this is probably going to be, for a lot of people, their first ever UGC Q4. And even if it's not, I feel like this time of year is just absolutely crazy and a bit of a minefield, and we thought we could maybe talk about it a little bit and talk about maybe how to set and protect some boundaries during this time, because it is really busy and everyone kind of says, you know, this is money making season, make hay whilst the sun shines, which is absolutely true, but that is also like a one-way ticket to burnout if you're not really protective of your boundaries. So we just thought it would be a really good idea to sit down and talk all things Q4 and thriving our way through it and not burning ourselves out.
Yeah, I think as well, even if it is like a creator that has been doing it full time for a long time, like you say, there's so many new creators in this space, but this Q4 is probably going to be even more like competitive and intense. Yeah, I think.
I mean, this is going to be my third kind of Q4 period as a full time, and I just think that I feel like even in that short amount of time, I've learned so much about how to do this period of time best, I guess, or rather, you know, I think 2024 was much better than 23 in terms of how I navigated it and how I handled it, and I think 2025 is going to be even better because I definitely got some key learnings from last year, so I figured why not just help people like jump through the awkward learning stage and just like give some really like honest advice and have some honest chats about the challenges that come with this time of year. But also it is super exciting. We don't want to dampen that at all. Like, this is money making season. Like, so much fun, so many fun campaigns. You get to get the Christmas tree out and the decorations and make everything look pretty and Christmassy, and like it's so much fun. But just as I say, like just wanting to be that person who also says, hey, like make sure you're looking after yourself, and here's some top tips if you want to make sure you don't kind of burn yourself out and overcommit. So I think it's a really important episode.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm just excited to get my Christmas tree out early, to be honest with you. That's my priority.
When do you put your tree up normally?
It's normally in December, but I am one that I'm like, if I can get it up earlier, I'm going to sneak that down. It's going to be in the living room, like end of November.
I agree. I'm a start of November Christmas tree girl.
Are you?
Well, I just think like genuinely, I think it's so expensive to buy a Christmas tree and to buy all the lovely decorations and all the lovely little ornaments that go around your house, and like I love all that stuff, and so I think I'm gonna get my time out of it, and it's not coming down till the end of Jan. It's not.
No, it's just your house is such a cozy space with a Christmas tree in it as well.
Yeah, it is. It is the perfect little space for like a Christmas grotto vibes for sure. Yeah, I do love it. I really do love it. And anyone who comes around is always like, oh, I love your house at Christmas. Like, I just love it. So I'm not going to put it up for like 3 weeks or whatever. No, it's going up for 3 months. Yeah, I'm going to milk every last second out of those beautiful little sparkly baubles.
Yeah. Do you know what I love as well? So I haven't seen Aimee's house at Christmas time, but I know exactly what it looks like. And when I first went round, I was like, "That's where your Christmas tree
Oh,
goes."
yeah,
She was
yeah.
like,
Yeah, you
"Yeah."
did. Yeah, that's so funny.
How do you know that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's my little Christmas tree. Because my house, like, it's very small, so I don't have options. Like, where should I put the tree this year? Should I put it in the middle of the room, or should I put it in the one corner where it fits? So yeah, so that it's there's every year, like, the same format. This will be my, oh gosh, this will be my 5th Christmas here, which is crazy actually. And every year it just gets a little bit better. Because you know when you first move into your first place and like you haven't got any of the stuff, like I remember my sister when she first moved into a house being like, how long until my house feels like a Christmas grotto, like mum made home feel? And I was like, that's like years of collecting ornaments and buying different baubles and tinsel and what, that's years of, and hundreds of pounds worth of decorations she used to pull out of the loft. So I was like, it's going to take a little bit of time. And I just feel like every year it gets a little bit more Christmassy in my house. And I love it. I love it so much. I love Christmas.
We didn't have a tree last year, so that's why this year I'm like, well, I lie. We had the tiniest little tree. It was this big on the dining table, and it had like tiny little baubles on it that literally fell off every time you touched it. It was because we had her as a puppy.
Oh, right, okay.
So like her like pen thing that we had up was in the way, like in the Christmas tree space, because again we have a small house and there's only one corner that the tree fits in. So she took priority over the tree last year, but I can't even tell you how unfestive it made it feel, like with no Christmas tree. So this year I'm like, right, give me all the Christmas briefs. I want this up in October.
Yeah, 100%, do it. I fully back you in your Christmas mission this year.
Even if I don't get one, I'm gonna be like, Matt, we've got a brief. I know it's like 1st of October, but I'm going to need to put the Christmas tree up now.
100%. Like, it's just the most beautiful, magical time of year. And I just think, like, I absolutely want to milk it every single year.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I feel like we got a little bit sidetracked by Christmas there. But, like you say, it is the most exciting period of the year. So, yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about Q4, what to expect, how to manage it, how to prioritise like your well-being as well. Yeah, let's talk everything.
100%, yeah.
Right, so you've done this 3 years in a row, did you just say? This should be the 3rd one.
Yeah.
So you're very experienced in the Q4 department. Summarise it for us. Like, what do I? It's my first one. So what do I expect? What do I do? Help me.
Yeah. First and foremost, you have got so many key events coming up in very close proximity. You have also, this is pretty much the time now that brands have saved their budget for and will now pretty much blow their remaining budget on before it gets to the new tax year. You have got Valentine's Day in February, but aside from that, this time now, which to be clear, is Halloween, although I must be honest, I don't tend to get Halloween briefs. I know some people do. I don't think I've ever really done too much for Halloween brief. But you've got, Halloween, you've got Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you've got Christmas, you've got New Year's, and then you've got, like, with New Year comes New Year, January sales, but also, New Year, new me, I'm going to reinvent my entire life, sales, products, etc. So you've got a handful of key events in really close proximity, which means that you are going to have a lot of briefs coming your way. If, like, all being well, there's a lot of business to be done and there's a lot of money to be made. Brands are also going to want quicker turnarounds because the closer you get to these events, like, there is just this sense of panic in Q4 from brands. And obviously they've got very short windows, so they might be sending you a brief and saying, we need this content in 3 days time because actually, we can't move the Cyber Monday date and we want to run it for a week before or whatever, and we can't run the ad after Cyber Monday because the sale's gone. So you're going to have some really demanding and tight turnarounds, and it's up to you to work out kind of where you sit with that and what you can and can't do, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But ultimately there's lots of money to be made, lots of business to be done, and you're going to feel this kind of sense of panic from brands and probably from yourself as well, if you're anything like me, because I'm like, whoa. So it's fun, it's adrenaline, it's oh my God, another brief, quick turnaround, la la la. And yeah, so it's really exciting and fast paced, but it's also really quite stressful, especially if you don't time manage and if you don't kind of keep a close eye and a close consideration on your own capacity.
Yeah. One thing that I definitely think I'm like personally going to struggle with is the panic side, because I'm like, if they're panicking, I'm panicking.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have
Yeah.
to manage that. But yeah, I just think it's only for a certain period, isn't it? And then you've got the January, February afterwards, March, that's so much quieter. So I feel like I'm just going to be in the head mindset of like, get it done. The money's to be made now, and then like chill out afterwards.
And I actually think like that is a really good point, because that's exactly how I think. However, I do also think that is part of the problem, is that we are acutely aware as business owners that, you know, it's all very well talking about, you know, protecting your boundaries and managing your workload, but we are equally acutely aware, well, hang on, I don't know how much money is going to be made in January, February, March.
Yeah.
So maybe I will just keep pushing even though I am burning out.
Yeah.
That's kind of part of the problem that we're talking about here, right? So, yes, that is something to be really aware of. The start of your next year is going to be quieter. Therefore, you probably are going to want to take a bit more of a proactive stance at this time, or try and, you know, pursue more business or take on more business. It's just really tricky, because you've got that, you've got to protect yourself and protect your welfare, but you've also got this niggle in the back of your mind that's saying, but also like we've got bills to pay, and we need to make sure that if January, February, March are quite quiet, if brands do run out of budget, as they often do, because it's such an important big opportunity and time for them to make money, Q4. Where does that leave us, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's important to kind of say at this point that boundaries is quite like a broad term. And so when we spoke about this earlier, Aimee, we kind of split it into two camps, if you like. And I think it's important that creators and business owners differentiate between the two. I think it's really important that you have boundaries that you set with your clients. And we can talk about what that looks like in a second, how you manage those relationships and how you kind of protect your peace with a client. But I also think it's important that we take accountability for ourselves, and we talk about the boundaries that we set with ourselves as well. I think they kind of fall into two camps. And I think it would be helpful if we like broke down things you can do to maintain boundaries for both, because otherwise you do find yourself in periods of panic, like you said, compromising on things that you wouldn't typically compromise on for the wrong reasons. And maybe it's because you just like, you feel guilty saying no because, oh my God, all these opportunities are coming, or you're overexcited, which is that is so real. Like when a brand comes in your inbox and you're like, oh my God, yes, I couldn't possibly say no to them. That there's absolutely every chance that you might say yes to something that maybe you wouldn't normally, but also you might be thinking, you know, money, stress about the new year, I've got taxes to pay, like, oh, I'll just take what I can get. So I think it's important that we talk about boundaries, but we really clearly define them. And I think the best way to do that is to split them into two camps, which is boundaries for your clients and boundaries for yourself. And maybe we break down kind of what that looks like for each one.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And I think maybe we start with boundaries for clients first.
Yeah, let's do it.
The first thing I would say is that communication is going to be key at this time of year. And I mean, it always is, but like you're going to need to be crystal clear from start to finish. If a like brand comes to you and they need it in X amount of days, like I just think you need to get everything in writing so you know exactly what you're doing when you're doing it. Everything's clear between the two of you, because even if like one little piece of information's missed, that could then lead into delays, and then you might not be able to turn it around as they expect it. Amends, like revisions, anything like that. Like you just need to be clear from the get-go to kind of structure your workload the best you can.
Essentially, like there'll be times throughout the year or there'll be previous collaborations that you've done where, you know, maybe something comes up at the end or midway through a project and you say, oh, that wasn't mentioned at the beginning, or, oh, okay, that wasn't included in the brief, or, oh, that's not quite what we agreed. You have not got capacity for that in Q4. And you shouldn't really have capacity forever or tolerance forever, but, you know, you just don't have the time for that in Q4. No. So I feel like what we're trying to say there is you need to be really like firm with brands and clear with brands. I need everything. I need every detail right here. I will go off and action it. If it's not in here, like my capacity is limited. It's Q4. Like you have to be so protective of that. So you need to make sure that before you start any project and when you're in those early stages, you are asking every question you need. You are pushing back where you haven't got clarity, and you're making it really clear that like you need to have all the detail right here so that you can go off and action it, and not have any unnecessary delays or whatever.
Yeah, and I think even down to like the point of what's in the box that's coming to you, because I have had brands in the past that have sent out packages and then something's been missing, or like someone else has sent it and they've maybe not communicated internally and something's missing, and then they're like, can this be in the video? And it's like, I don't have it.
Yeah.
So even just down to little things like that, I would say to make sure that everything's just clear from the get-go.
Yeah, or like, can you write us a script and send it across? Well, yes, but I need you to tell me exactly what's in that package then, because I don't want to have to wait for the package to arrive to open it to find out to then write your script. So you tell me now, I'll write you the script, and like you have to just be so on it.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Also, I think as well at this time of year, you need to be so thorough with contracts and things. Like we've said before about putting them through ChatGPT to make sure you're not being like nothing's hidden in there, but also just like making sure all of the details are in there to cover you, for example, with revisions and things. Like brands are well within their rights to request those things, especially at such a busy time of year. They probably want a video a specific type of way if it's for a sale or something like that. But just to make sure that everything is within your contract usage, exclusivity, because you don't want to screw yourself over and like sign up to a brand not realising it's exclusive and then you can't take on more work from other brands in such a small space of time.
And also things like express turnaround, they're going to want express turnaround, I'm sure. I don't blame them, like it's the super busy time, let's jump on that trend, let's jump on that sale, whatever it might be. Are you upping your fees or negotiating to your fee up to cover yourself for that? Like just you want to make sure that you're being really thorough in your negotiations and in your contracts at this time.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I would say is being okay with saying no at such a high pressure time of the year. Like obviously brands are going to be panicking, they're going to be pushing things onto you, and like it is not for you to absorb that from them. So if you're not comfortable doing something or you don't have the capacity or anything like that, just say no, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. Like there's been a time recently, and I'm sure Aimee has other examples as well, like I was asked, I know this isn't the Christmas period, but I was asked to do something that went completely against what I would be comfortable doing. And it wasn't for a lot of money either, so like there was nothing in me that wanted to do it. And I was ghosted actually after I said no, because I think in the message I said like I don't feel comfortable doing this, because it was basically to do with financial situations of people. It was a big decision for people to sign up to, and someone basically wanted me to write a false review, not a false review, but like a fake review, and I hadn't used the service, and I'm not going to say that a service is fantastic if I haven't used it, especially when it involves money for people. So yeah, I just think if it doesn't line up with you, if you're not comfortable doing it, say no, just because of the time of year and how busy it gets. Like that shouldn't oversee that.
Yeah, I think like for me and from my experience, when it comes to saying no at this time of year, it's because brands are coming to you and they're saying, you know, another creator's let us down, are you able to do this? And you kind of feel like, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, I can do that for you. And you kind of absorb that panic, like you said. Another thing you get a lot of is, you know, Aimee, you're one of our favourite creators to work with. You never let us down. You know, is there any way you can do this? And look, that's really nice feedback to get. And I'm always going to want to help out if I can. But if what you're asking me to do isn't like financially beneficial for me, or is too big of an ask, or doesn't align, or whatever, like I'm still going to say no. It's just really difficult to not absorb that panic and that adrenaline rush that comes from social media managers and social teams and businesses who are understandably so excited to churn out really successful content during that time. It can be quite difficult to maintain kind of like clarity for yourself and what's beneficial for you, and not just kind of get swept up in the rush of it all. So that's kind of where I sit on that one, because I think it can come in the form of like a really nice email saying, you never let us down, we love your content, another creator's let us down, can you help actually it's absolutely okay and will not damage your relationship to say, I can't do that. It's too big for us. It's too quick a turnaround. I'm at capacity. Or to say, I can do it, but you need to give me 3 days, not 2, or whatever it might be, you know?
Yeah. To be honest, I think like brands know that we're busy. Brands know that this is a busy time of year. So they, like if you do say no, although it might cause them a little bit more stress because they'll need to find someone else, whatever, they will understand, like it is the busiest time of year. Everyone knows that. And also like not all creators are full-time creators. So if you have a full-time job and say a brand emails you Tuesday morning and they're like, we need this video back in 2 days time, you won't be able to do that if you work Monday to Friday in the office. It gets dark at 4 p.m. It doesn't get light until you're at the office. Like there's no daytime for you to do that in the evenings. You just physically cannot make that work, and that's okay. The brand will understand that. Not all of us are in a position that we can film in the daytime and turn it around that quickly. So we're not machines at the end of the day.
No, 100%. So. Also, I'm sorry if everyone can hear my Luna just in the background, but she's got a bee in her bonnet and I don't know what it's about, so sorry. The last boundary for clients, I think, kind of crosses over and kind of leads us nicely into boundaries with yourself during this time. So I would say that a really big boundary that I set with clients is kind of office hour times. The idea that I won't email them outside of kind of, I don't know, after 6 or 7 p.m, which is quite late, but like that's kind of when I work. Outside of that, I will schedule it for early the next day, because I don't like the idea of brands thinking I am available 24/7, whilst I might be monitoring my emails later than that, or might be, you know, working, you know, late into the night. It doesn't mean that I'm available for them. And this is kind of something that I have in my personal life as well. Like I don't have WhatsApp read receipts on. I'm very big on like, just because someone's texted me doesn't mean I have to reply straight away. Like I don't owe that. I think it's really important that we are, we kind of don't give brands the impression that we are available 24/7, because because we're not. Like no human can work 24/7 and it be healthy for them. So I think that's a really good boundary to set with clients, but also I think it is something that you should be doing to protect your own kind of welfare and well-being and work-life balance anyway. So yeah, a really good tip if you are someone like me who actually is just naturally a night owl and will be working into the depths of the night sometimes, is schedule your emails for, let's call it 7-8 a.m. the next morning. You know, most offices won't open till 8 or 9, so actually it's still a very like nice early response in their inbox. That would be my suggestion. I think that's a really important one.
I was just going to say as well, like most agencies or brands, they finish at 5 or 6 p.m. anyway, so to rush to get it back to them that evening, they're not going to see it until the next morning anyway.
Exactly.
But one thing I actually saw someone do, and I've been meaning to input it, I still haven't done it. I've put on my like out of offices when I've been like really busy and stuff like that, but I saw a girl say, so like, you know, when you email like a brand,
I bet I know
email that probably gets a lot of emails to it, so you just set up a generic response that says like, thank you for your email, like it's been received, I'll respond to you as soon as I can, that kind of thing, because then at least the brand is acknowledged and they know that they've got the right contact for you, because they might be chasing you because is this the right email for her, or has she got this? Whereas if you acknowledge it with like just an automatic reply, they're at least acknowledged, and that is a response in itself. So it's giving them the reassurance that you will get back to them without just like airing the email until you're ready to.
Yeah.
And I think that would be so handy.
I also think what I thought you were going to say is, and I had one person do it in my corporate job. There was a man who came over from Australia, and they just had a wildly different work-life balance to us in their business. And his emails used to say, just because like I email you at times outside of office hours does not mean I expect you to respond within like outside of office hours. And I've seen it on a handful of people's emails, like signatures that I've worked with since starting UGC, where it basically says the same, like, just because I'm dropping you an email at 2 a.m. because that's what I'm doing, I don't expect you to. And I really, really like that. And I think it's just, maintaining that boundary of saying, yes, like everyone does have emails on their phone now and you can be available for work 24/7, but that does not mean that we all should be available, and no one's clapping you for replying at 2 a.m. because like quicker than someone, like it's not good. So I think that's a really, really important one.
Yeah, I think it also takes like having like an automatic, for example, the response just set up. It takes the panic off of you as well, because you're like, okay, that's been responded to. I can finish what I'm doing and then do it. Whereas like at times I'm like, oh my God, an email's come through. I need to reply to that first, like secure the deal. Yeah. And then go back to it, when actually that just causes more panic and it's not productive at all.
Like sometimes when I have content days with clients, I'll set it. Sometimes if I'm at an event like I was with you the other day, like that, I had an email and out of like I'm away from my emails for the day, so my response time might be a little bit. So I just think it's like really good. It actually calmed me. It's not even really, if I'm honest. Yeah. Yes, it helps the brands to know where they stand 100%. Yeah. And that's beneficial for everyone. But like it actually is to manage my own anxiety around it. It's because I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, they know I'm not just useless. Like they know where I'm at. They know I'm on to. And I think that doing that kind of message and setting that kind of message on you out of office is proactive and shows what kind of a person you are anyway. I think they'll be like, hey, I like that. I know we're not going to be sat here anxious for a reply. Like, I think I think it's such a healthy thing to do.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm for one, I'm definitely going to be doing it.
So we spoke earlier about how important it is to have really honest conversations with brands and agencies about your capacity to take on projects, about being really clear in your communication, knowing exactly what the scope of a project is before you take it on. But I think that in order to have those conversations, you need to have first had a really honest conversation with yourself about what your capacity is. And in order to do that, you need to be really clearly recording everything and understanding exactly what you've got on, what deadlines you've got coming in, what kind of timelines you're looking at, because you need to be able to make a judgment call when a brand comes in and says, hey, we've got this project and we need it from you in this timeline, or can you do this? You need to, number one, before any response happens, you need to actually know in your heart of hearts, do you have capacity for it? And unfortunately, there will be times when you just don't. Yeah. And you can make it work perhaps, but in order to kind of have any of these conversations and say, hey, like maybe I could squeeze it in, you need to know exactly what your workload looks like, and have had a very honest conversation with yourself to say, can I take on more? Do I want to take on more? So I think being really acutely aware of what you've got on, what your timelines look like, and then also having that honest conversation with yourself, how much more do I want to take on? I think that's really, really important, being really, really aware of your own capacity, both actual like physical capacity, time in your day, but also like mental, emotional, energetic capacity to give to another project. Like you have to know exactly where you're at with that. And I think that is so, so important.
Yeah, I think that's something that I'm going to have to really take into account this year, because even like I could have like 3 projects on at one time and I'm like, what do I need to do? What do I do when? So I might actually get an Aimee calendar on the wall with a whiteboard.
I was literally about to say that.
I might have to do that.
Yeah, I think, when I say like, exactly what project and deadline, you're picturing some kind of fancy spreadsheet, Notion template perhaps. Yes, I do use some of those things, but not really, because actually the best thing I ever did for my business was got a whiteboard in my kitchen, and I literally have a to-do it, because I'm very visual. I'm also very ADHD. I need to see it there. I need to see what I've got on it. I have to be able to see it. And so being able to break it down and maybe doing Monday, Tuesday, whatever that might be. Find a system that works for you. It doesn't have to be sexy. It doesn't have to be super sophisticated. And it might be as simple as going to the range, buying a whiteboard, and then painting it in the leftover paint from the kitchen wall colour so that it looks a little bit more aesthetic on your wall.
Gorgeous.
But yeah, best thing I ever did, genuinely, buy a whiteboard.
Yeah, so I mean, like I've got the productivity method planner, and that does really help me in terms of like on the day what I'm doing. But I do think I need something like as a week overview. Yeah, because I do 100%. Think it's very easy just to get tied into the one day that you're on. And also, like speaking of like work capacity, that is a really busy time, like personally as well. Like there's Christmas parties, Halloween parties, like seeing friends. Like I personally have loads of people with birthdays in November, December.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, like even just like personally, like just you have to account for time for those things as well, and also like time to decompress and recharge, because if you are go, like the content you're putting out is not going to be high energy, it's not going to be creative, it's not going to be like what you want it to be. You are just going to end up being like a machine that's literally just like rolling out content because you don't have a choice but to do that.
Yeah, 100%. And also, there are so many times I found in Q4 where there is opportunity for B-roll, and you need to be so this is such a random rogue point, but like there were so many times last year where I realised that I needed B-roll of, let's say, for example, you know, me enjoying food out, you know, at a restaurant, or all dressed up in a nice Christmas outfit. And if you haven't done your pre-planning, if you have done your pre-planning rather, you can go out to all these nice events that you're going to anyway, snap a little bit of B-roll of the food, snap a little video of you in your dress. Jobs are good in. You've got an abundance of genuine B-roll to use in your UCS. But what I've done previously is not be organised enough. And then I think, bugger, I've been to 3 lovely Christmas events, eaten loads of lovely Christmas food. I've been in London with the Christmas lights. I've been buying nice Christmassy drinks. I've been, do you know what I mean, doing Christmas shopping. These are all amazing bits of B-roll. And if I just had the presence of mind to plan what, like, to look through my briefs and say, hey, I'm in London in 3 days' time, I can get a load of B-roll off that. But no, now I'm getting dressed up and wandering out and making some fake B-roll shots for a video. And I just think Q4, that actually is such a big learning from last year. So that's a bit of a rogue one, but look at what you've got coming up, and then actually genuinely try and tie it in with what you've got, because there's so many nice things going on at that time of year. You can probably get a lot of your B-roll work done quite organically.
Yeah, no, definitely. Noted.
Can I just say before we kick off, the lighting in this is going to be tragic. Like, it has got so dark so quick where I am. So for anyone watching us on YouTube, I'm really sorry that we've kind of started in broad daylight and we finished in the depths of the night.
I feel like this is just how life's going to be now for the next few months, isn't
yeah,
it? So
true.
you're just
That's
gonna have
so
to
true.
accept
At least
it.
I'm in PJs.
Yeah, true.
Need some
We're
cozy
snug
in my
and ready for
PJs.
the evening already.
I am, always.
Final point, I would say social media boundaries. And what I mean by that is doom scrolling. I, for one, I am so bad at doom scrolling. I'm bad at comparison. I'm bad at it all. However, I am getting better, but I am also very aware that Q4 is going to be a time that is going to get a lot worse, like for people that do struggle with that kind of thing. We already know that Instagram is a highlight reel. It always is, and it always will be. But if you think about the amount of work that's going to be going on, the fun opportunities, all that's going to be on social media is people talking about these fantastic things are happening to them, and we just need to look at it as a celebration for them rather than comparing your journey, because like these opportunities are going to come up for you as well. It's just you need to work on your mindset, I'd say, more at this time of year. Because...
And actually, do you know what, Ames? That's a really good point in general. The weather this time of year also makes mindset so much more difficult. I know that's not what you're talking about. I know you're talking about social media, which is so true. And I really struggle with social media in comparison and whatever. Not even necessarily comparison. I think just like getting caught up in the like the facade of it all. I think I've spoken about it quite a few times at this point. Like I do really struggle with it. But the weather I find really, really difficult this time of year as well. So the whole thing is just linked, you know, like and like lighting and looking at people's content and being like, how did they get that product shot? Like I haven't got any sun here. Like it's so dark. I really find that hard. So I think getting like mentally prepared is going to be dark. Your footage isn't going to look exactly as you want it to because it's not summer and you haven't got golden hour, you know, like just and you can sit and scroll and compare all you want, but it's not going to change anything. So I think that's another really big one to
I think mindset all around is just something that doesn't just naturally need to be worked on a little bit more in the winter months, because like you say, the weather, SAD is a real thing, seasonal affective disorder. The lighting, like you say, like the quality of your work might not be quite how you want it, but what can you do? We live in England, like...
Yeah, literally. And just to like bring it back to boundaries, because ultimately that these aren't boundaries. I guess what I'm saying is like sit down and have a conversation with yourself and set boundaries with yourself and say, you know, and make peace with the fact that, okay, Ames, the lighting is going to be bad. It's not going to be what you want it to be.
No.
But that's not going to stop us from filming. We're not going to cancel whole filming days because, you know, it's not as bright as that. No, we're going to film it. And if we end up refilming it down the line because, you know, we decided that was absolutely necessary, okay, but we're not going to stop ourselves from doing things. No. And we're not going to dig ourselves into a hole, and we're not going to feel like rubbish, and we're not going to tell ourselves we're a terrible creator because we can't make the sun come out from behind the clouds. Like and so I think just having really honest conversations and setting your own boundaries and expectations with yourself is how I kind of bring that back to boundaries, if you like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is all what it stems from, isn't it?
Anyway, I feel like we have nattered on quite a long time about boundaries, and I feel like we haven't said anything overly groundbreaking, but I do think that it is important sometimes to like stop and take stock and have a bit of a moment with yourself to say like, okay, it's about to get busy, it's about to get exciting. Let's just have a moment, set some boundaries, have some honest conversations with ourselves. I just think if you're going to succeed at anything, like what do they say? Fail to plan to fail. Like it's just another example of that, right? And I think that Q4 is a time that can be so positive and so exciting. It can also be absolutely exhausting and pretty miserable if you don't kind of handle it the right way. So I just think it's a good opportunity to kind of have a bit of an honest chat about what is ultimately a really positive time.
Yeah. Well, even like from me to you, like this is a conversation we've had. So like, let us just be your friends that you have this conversation with to think, right, how am I going to navigate this busier time? I'm not prepared for this, or I might not be prepared for this. I don't know what to expect. So yeah, like we were having this conversation. We wanted to have this conversation with you. So
yeah, I think also like there's a kind of feeling in this space sometimes that you can't like complain or like you know, if you say, you know, I'm really struggling to film, I can't get the shots I want, that people will think you're a poor creator. I don't know why I get that impression. I think I am overly critical of myself, so I often think people are thinking worse things about me than they probably actually are. No one probably cares what I'm up to, but I do feel like to have a really honest conversation and say sometimes I get up and I'm so excited to film, the weather's rubbish and I cannot find it within me, or I hate every bit of footage I put, like I really struggle with it. And just to make others realise they're not the only people who feel like that, because it can be so disheartening when you're so proud of the work you do and you want to nail those shots and those close-ups and those texture.
she agrees.
Sorry, I got interrupted by my dog losing her mind, but we were talking about lighting. And Aimee, what were you saying? Sorry, you were saying something to me just before I jumped up.
Oh yeah, even in the peak of summer, you said to me on multiple occasions that you weren't like that keen on the lighting because the sun wasn't completely out. It was slightly greyer than normal. When actually to me, like it looked great. Like it was really beautiful lighting.
Oh, I've got hiccups, sorry.
So especially at this time of year, like that's just going to be like even worse.
Yeah. Also, like I see creators put up content with clips that are shot in like really gloomy days, and I think that actually looks really lovely the way they've shot that. Like, but when I look at my version of that, I think, oh, the lighting's bad, it's grainy, whatever. Well, you know, just learning to kind of embrace that, I guess, and be like, yeah, do you know what? It's not perfect, but I'm also, you know, not in a studio with professional lighting setup, because that's not what I do. You know, I make content at home on my phone, and to just try and romanticize the process even when it feels a little bit painful turning in work that, in an ideal world would look slightly different. You can't control the weather, and it's just, it's such a tricky one. But just be prepared, guys and gals, because we're on a little bit of a journey now from now until March with lighting, and it just is what it is.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that, like, just don't fall into the trap of needing to work 24/7. Like, yes, it is such a privilege that all of these fantastic opportunities are going to come your way, and like what a privilege it is to be so busy, but also like the more you do that, it is just going to negatively impact yourself. So keep your boundaries with your clients and yourself.
Just because there's work there doesn't mean you have to take it. Just because you could work 24/7 and could fill your diary with work to fill 24 hours 7 days a week doesn't mean you should need to. But also, if you're on a roll and you are like, yes, give me that, do it. Like, love that for you, but just you don't fall into the trap that just because there's work to be had and to be done that you should be working 24/7. It's not the case.
Yeah, that's why we do this job as well, isn't it? Like, what was I going to say?
But for the ability to say yes and no to things that do and don't align with how we feel at the time, and 100%, I mean, how many people would kill to be in their office job that maybe they don't enjoy so much, and maybe and be able to say to their boss, no, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't. No, I'd actually rather not take that on. Like, you know, a lot of people would love to be able to have a little bit more control over their workload, especially at this time of year. So, look, everyone's different. Financial situations are different, but I guess the bottom line is you don't have to say yes to every opportunity just because it's an opportunity, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's where we should leave the episode. That's the roundup.
100%. I feel like this has been a really like nice sit down chatty episode, and hopefully has just kind of reassured anyone who's maybe nervous to go into their first Q4, or maybe nervous to go into another Q4, or just hopefully has just kind of grounded us all a bit to tackle this busy time in the most healthy way possible, and in a way that allows us to succeed without burning out. I think that's a really nice episode, and I think something that I would have loved to have listened to maybe 2 years ago, when I was at that point in my journey, and to be honest, you still would like to listen to now. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. As always, we will be back with another one very, very soon, and as always, love you, bye.